Hi, I'm Gail. Welcome back to my How To in Less Than 10 Minutes series. Today I'm going to try and show you how to do an ikebana arrangement which has got really minimal flowers and leaves in it. I usually use things from my own garden. Hopefully it's going to be really quick and simple, and as I don't have a cameraman, I just have to fiddle with the iPad and get myself set up. Won't be a moment. Okay, so today I'm going to use the bottom of a glass casserole dish. I haven't used it as a casserole dish for years. I usually use it as a vase. I'm going to use flower arranging spikes. I'll just see if I can get the light a bit better. Here we go. So flower arranging spikes. So they're going into the base of the casserole dish, arranged like so that I can just poke the flowers onto them. And because I've got several that I'm joining together, I'm going to have to make sure that some of my flowers actually overlap so that I'll actually hold the spikes together. Now we're using aspidistra leaves. These are variegated, they're beautiful. I have some secateurs, a pair of scissors which I may or may not use, and a stapler. One lonely rose, we only had one in the garden, and some green goddess lilies. These are fantastic lilies. Also, probably down the bottom, I'm going to place some sphagnum moss. Now most people have fairies at the bottom of their garden, we have sphagnum moss, so that's going to come in handy too. Okay, so let's get cracking. First of all, I'm going to place the green goddess lilies in. Now these have got huge stems, but we don't want the arrangement nearly that high. And because I'm putting it onto spikes this time, I need to make sure that the base of it is reasonably level, not completely flat, otherwise it won't take up the water, but I don't want a really big bevel on it, so that should be okay. And I'm going to have this one facing forwards. I might actually have to move away a little bit so that you can see a bit more, or perhaps just adjust this. Let's see how we go. That's the problem of not having a photographer. Okey-doke. Here we go. So I'll just poke that down, and I'm actually putting it over the corner of the spikes where I had the round one, or it was 3/4 round, and then I've slotted a rectangular one into the other part. So I'm trying to join those two spikes together, and then we'll have a couple of others up the back. Now, if you've followed any of my floral arrangement before, you'll know that I very seldom throw anything away, so I think we might actually use these leftover stalks too. So let's have one out here, and perhaps we'll make one a bit shorter. And this one I'm actually going to use that bevel and see if I can join two of my pieces together. There we go. And actually, because I'm going to use the stalks, that was a bit of an afterthought, I'm going to take this off, take the big one off and put it further back, and then I can actually use a stalk to join those pieces together. Okay, so let's have a look. There we go, that'll work perfectly. And back here, we're going to have another stalk. We can cut these off in a minute if the heights aren't right. But that, actually, all the stalks are going to hold all the spikes together, so that's working really well. Now, as you can see, I've already changed my mind as I go along, so whatever you do isn't necessarily set in concrete. Usually I use Oasis, and you can just pull things out and poke them back in. So today we're not using Oasis, but we've been able to do the same thing with the spikes. Okay, so let's go for 3 different height spikes. That one's too high though, because it is a bit hidden underneath that flower. We'll shorten this one a bit. Shorten that one a bit. Okay, so now we've got three quite distinct spikes, and that one's tipping back a bit, so I can adjust that. Might need to make it a bit flatter. Okay, there we go. Now, with the aspidistra leaves, I'm going to curl them up. So you twist it round, grab your stapler, just pop a couple of staples in there, one on that side, one on that side, and now you have a curl. Okay, see you've got a hole through the middle. Okay, so we can pop a couple of those. Now, whichever way we've got the first one going is the way that we're going to have all the others going too. So let's find a spot where we poke that on. So remember, we need to curl them all the same way. And I want one shorter for this spot and then one taller for another spot. So let's go down with that one. Let's see if we can. It's going to need to be quite a bit shorter because otherwise it's going to cover up this leaf that's sitting there. So see if we can poke that somewhere. Okay, so we've got two in there, and we need a taller one for the back. A couple more staples. As you can see, in no time flat, you can actually create really interesting arrangements out of your garden that you just whizzed up from home. So let's pop that one in the back corner. And actually that could, no, it's alright. I was going to say it could work with the stalk poking through, but I just need to twist it a bit, and then there we go. Okay, so we've basically got all three of them with the hole facing forward, and we've got one lonely little flower, but I actually don't think I'm even going to put that in. I like it quite like that. So let's get rid of the bucket. Now, I had a couple of options for what we could do in the base of the vase. I had wondered about using marbles, or little sort of coloured, little clear glass pebbles. You could actually put that into the vase so that you can just cover all the spikes, but I reckon we're going to use sphagnum moss. So I'll just poke that in around, and so we'll end up with a green effect, and then just pop some water in afterwards. Now, if you went to a florist, you'd pay a small fortune for this. Chances are that no matter how depleted your garden is, you will have something. I quite often use succulents, because at the moment we hardly have any flowers, and we haven't got a huge flower garden anyway. But succulents are fabulous. Some of them actually look like flowers, so they come up really, really well when you're doing a flower arrangement, if you haven't got any flowers. So let's get rid of all the dirt. And I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't see how many minutes we took, but here we have the finished flower arrangement. Okay, don't be scared to have a go at home. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and stay tuned for some more. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.